So today, we're going to do something a little different. We're not just going to explain an ancient text, we're going to deconstruct it word by word and then rebuild it visually. And our goal? To see if a fresh look at the original language can totally change how we understand one of life's biggest questions. What exactly is the self? Let's just start with a huge question, one that's at the very heart of this. What if that solid, continuous feeling you have of being you? What if it's all based on a centuries-old misunderstanding of a single crucial word? Well, let's find out.
All right, so let's set the scene. Imagine this, a clear, full moon night way back when. We're in a gathering of monks, and one of them gets up to ask the Buddha a question that really just cuts to the core of what it means to be human.
And this is the question that kicks the whole thing off. Now, it sounds a little technical, I know. What are the 5 aggregates subject to clinging? But what he's really asking is, what are the basic building blocks that make us who we are? The things we use to construct our idea of a self. Okay, so let's start with the standard modern answer. If we do a direct dictionary-based translation of the Buddha's response, let's call this our first layer of translation. We get a very clear, very straightforward list. And here they are, the 5 aggregates. You've got your physical form, that's your body. Then there are feelings, perceptions, mental formations, like your thoughts and habits. And finally, the consciousness that's aware of all of it. Pretty simple, right? It's like a neat psychological breakdown of a person. And the text says these are the aggregates of clinging. The idea is that we identify with them, we hold on to them, and we say, yep, this is me. The key word here is clinging. But this is where our investigation takes a really interesting turn.
What if that simple translation, clinging, is actually hiding something much deeper? This is where we go beyond the dictionary. We're going to use a special kind of linguistic analysis called nirrity to look at the word's ancient roots. This is our second, deeper translation.
Okay, so get this. The original Pali word is upadana, and for centuries, it's pretty much always been translated as clinging. But if you break the word down to its most ancient roots, it doesn't just mean to hold on to something. It actually means fuel or to take up as sustenance, a totally different feel. And here's that nirroti insight in action. Upa means near, and adana means to take up. So the word literally describes the action of drawing something near to feed on it, to keep something going. It's not a static grip. It's an active, continuous process of fueling. And you know what? The text itself backs this up. It says upadana isn't the 5 things themselves, but the desire and passion for them. It's the wanting, the active drive that feeds our identification with these parts of ourselves. It's not a noun, it's a verb. Now, this distinction between clinging and fueling, it's subtle, but it is huge. So to make it absolutely crystal clear, we're doing our third and final translation. This time, not into more words, but into powerful, simple images, our visual translation. This is clinging, a clenched fist. It gives you the feeling that you're holding on to something solid, something permanent, something you own. It's a static, desperate grasp. And this is fueling. It's a completely different image, isn't it? Not a fist, but a fire. The idea here is that your sense of self isn't some rock you're holding onto. It's a fire that you are constantly feeding. Every time you identify with a thought, a feeling, your body, you're just throwing another log on the fire, keeping that flame of me alive. So this shift from clinging to fueling is way more than just a fun language lesson. It completely reframes how we understand our own minds and our sense of identity. Let's really break down how this changes everything. The text calls the core problem Sakaya Ditti, which basically means the identity view. And what is that? It's the fundamental mistake we all make, believing that somewhere inside these 5 constantly changing processes, there is a solid, permanent, unchanging self. So just think about what this really means. We don't possess a self that we cling to. Instead, we are actively performing and sustaining the idea of a self moment by moment. It's not something you have. It's something you do. And this is how that mistaken view shows up in our daily lives, right? We look at our body and think, this is me. We experience a strong feeling and think, I am this feeling. We get attached to a thought and believe, this thought is my true self. We're basically mistaking the logs for the fire. So what's the antidote? The text offers a really direct one. a powerful contemplation to help untangle this mess. For any of those 5 parts, your body, your feelings, your thoughts, the instruction is to see it clearly and just recognize, this is not mine, I am not this is not myself.
The whole goal here is a radical shift in perspective, to stop seeing yourself as a collection of static things, and to start seeing your experience as a series of dynamic, impersonal, and ever-changing processes. You're not the log, you're not even the fire, you're just the process of burning. And this brings us to our final, provocative question, the one this entire visual translation has been leading up to. The text says that by understanding this, the fire of self eventually goes out because it runs out of fuel. Which leaves us with this incredible thought to ponder. If you stop fueling the fire, what's left?